What's going on, y'all? It's Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bringing you guys the next installment in my current day top 5 series, where we go over the top 5 of each of the main categories in battle rap as we speak in 2025. And as you can see, following up the top 5 punchers, which we kicked it off with, we are going to be talking about the top 5 performers in battle rap at the moment. Of course, this is going to be very reliant on energy, right? Performative nature. We're going to have a couple honorable mentions and then get into the top 5 as per usual. These are always a little bit harder to make. I think the performers list kind of was a conversation not too long ago. So I kind of been giving my thoughts on this, and I think that this one is one of the easier to make compared to the rest. And as always, I did the 2024 list, so you guys can go back and check those, what I said last year, and see what the changes are, because the punchers list was kind of a reorder of a lot of the same names that were in there. And while of course we're going to have repeat names here on the performers list, I think there's a little bit more variance this time around. But with that being said, man, let's talk about a couple honorable mentions real quick. And as for my 2 honorable mentions, first one is a guy who I think in his career went through eras of different stuff. He started out as like a drug talk battle rapper. It's pretty much the basis of his style. From there, he turned into an angler, and then that's kind of became what he's identified for the most part in battle rap. And now I think he's in more of this like showmanship, performative area. He's a bit more of a moment maker than ever, and that is T-Top. And I speak on that with 2024. That was really based more so, it wasn't the angling that he was known for being surgical as much. It wasn't even the drug talk like I spoke on, which of course he's always going to have both of those things mixed into his material. But I thought T-Top, I think the perfect word is showmanship. And there will be debates on performance, right? There's people that or maybe you actually use their body physically more in performance. But then you got guys like T-Top and kind of like a Charlie Clips in a sense that their ability to move large audiences is performative. You know what I'm saying? And the way they go about it isn't, even though T-Top does utilize the stage, he does move around on stage more than he's given credit for, he has this natural entertainer kind of side to him. And I think that in a lot of ways that what he's been doing reminds me of Charlie Clips, for the good and the bad, because he's in moments where he chuckles through the battles, right? And he's kind of been stumbling lately, but there's much more good work than bad, and in that good work, you have T-Top really moving the audience and making moments. Cooking with Kaya moment, the Follow the Drip Bar versus Jerry. These are all performance-based things, in my opinion. The Chef Trez performance was extremely energetic, so someone that I have to mention when I'm talking on the border of the top 5, but I think has improved so much in that category. And then someone who, this is going to be top tiers pretty much all throughout, but there is one battler who is really making a claim right now, kind of climbing back up the ranks, bit of a second win from his first push, and I think that it's completely understandable that Sheed Happens is in this conversation. We talk about some of the better performers in battle rap. Kind of the opposite of T-Top. He's a natural entertainer as well, but Sheed is using performance every bar. He's an unorthodox style, and you can get into the strengths in his writing, and there's other things that he does well. Kind of gets in a deep message, philosophical bag. I think that's what really helped the Jay the Nightwing battle. Their styles play off each other well, but he is a performance machine. I just think it's going to come down to him being consistent, battling big names and being consistent versus those big names, rocking more big stages. The one big stage he touched, surprise 2-on-2 on Gnome Impact, which I hated that event. I hated the fact that battle, what was it, him and Swervo versus Kid Slade and Authentic. Hour long, shouldn't have been, but what carried that battle is literally just Sheed Happens. I think his style is kind of meant for bigger stages, and I think even though he's in mostly small rooms right now, you're seeing the way that he cultivates that attention, that energy in the building, and that's why even though he doesn't make my top 5, I'm extremely impressed with Sheed as a performer and why he's my second honorable mention. But with that being said, we can get into number 5 for my top 5 performers. And at that initial number 5 spot, the first name we're going to talk about is returning from the number 5 spot from last year, and that is Miss Hustle. In my opinion, the best female performer, and it's been that way for quite some time. I don't think she's all around the best female battle rapper. I continue to edge that to Jazz the Rapper. But Miss Hustle's been a dominant performance machine for over a decade now, and it really hasn't changed. She's coming off another good year, battling the likes of Swamp, Fonz, Geechee Gotti. Her chest material and volume, which her material in that battle was really some of the best she's ever had. But then she's also extremely energetic and performative in those battles. She just knows how to utilize kind of her size within the ring. And it's just one of those things that you can't even really just talk it to death. Like, it's Miss Hustle. I wouldn't put her up in the top conversations. Obviously, her and Hitman is coming up, which is her big time end game god tier-esque battle, right? And then who better for a top, like a performance heavy battle rapper than Hitman Holla to have? So, and that's going to be on a big stage, going to be the same venue and stage that Power Moves was at. So it's going to be a great opportunity in front of a large amount of people to maybe further, if she does incredible in that battle, wins, anything like that, those are the type of ones that I think that could jump you over some of those people ahead of you. But I think there's just people with a stronger case at the moment that I would put over her. But it's Miss Hustle. You couldn't go wrong with her being a spot or two higher, in my opinion, but definitely top 5. And then we get to the number 4 spot, and when we get to the top 3, there is going to be that kind of variance, right, that I was talking about. But at number 4, we have the same number 4 from last year as well, and that is Tay-Rock. And he's someone that I said this with the punchers too. When he was in the honorable mentions. For those that haven't seen, he's going to be in the honorable mentions again. But he, people don't really categorize him. Nobody talks about Tay-Rock if he's just a straight up puncher or he's just a straight up performer. He's kind of just like Tay-Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's this huge, dangerous, threat level, GOAT level battle rapper, right? But performance, I think, is one of his biggest strengths. I know with punching, I said, really writing wise, what is he doing besides punching? You know what I mean? But I think the emphasis from that, because he's not the most creative in a sense. I think he has plenty of creative haymakers and punchlines, but he's not the most detailed writer in the world or anything like that, right? Sometimes it's more upfront, blunt force type of bars that he's using, for the lack of a better term. But it's the energy that he uses, man. I mean, this is a guy who just bombs away with the energy that he has. Controls rooms. I mean, there's very few battle rappers that can get a building as excited as Tay-Rock. He is a perennial card saver, right? How many times has he been performance of the night energy? People are looking forward to him, or if the card is a little lackluster on a big stage, he's the standout of the night that brings the card all together. I just think that he is an ability that very few in the history of the game have in terms of that. Now, I don't think he's as performance heavy at the base of his style like a couple of these other battle rappers, because I think his pure rapping pockets more than anything the last couple of years. Obviously, I have more respect for him as a puncher than I think most people do. Probably more of an all-around battle rapper than he gets credit for, but I think his pure energy and what he produces, particularly in bigger environments, more people, and even the showmanship of kind of tapping the camera, the ad-libs, that all plays into that entertainment factor, that performance factor, and really controlling the room. And that's why, for me, he lands at number 4 again. And then we get a little bit of a change up, right? So we have someone here that's actually coming off of one of their best performances in quite some time. And I had them at number 2 last year. So for them to drop one, maybe some people are confused, but they did have pretty bad year last year before this nuclear performance, and I think you'll understand the names that I have over them. But at number 3, I do have Shotgun Suge, dropping one spot from the 2024 list. And it didn't have a crazy 2024, you know what I'm saying? And in many, many ways, coming off, when I made the list, was coming off around the Ace Amin battle, which big stage, New York, just colossal body bag, you know what I'm saying? Where he completely controlled that building and room, and then he kind of just had battles that were non-important to his legacy and career, and he treated them exactly as such. You know what I'm saying? He really went on a donation streak last year, giving people victories over him. But then he gets a big battle for the first time in quite some time, right? With Easy the Block Captain. And even though it's a few hundred, obviously I commentate for that event, I'd say maybe 300-400 in the building. It's not the biggest stage, but the way that he rocked it in his backyard in Jersey is probably the best performance we've seen so far in 2025. Dominant. His first round versus Easy is just bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb, and I think he really showed in that battle better angling and really his writing. There's other things he improved on there, but that doesn't change who he's at. If you hear the tags in the background, that would be my dog running around back there, so my apologies for that one. But absolutely incredible. I don't think that anyone's questioning why Shotgun Suge would be a top 3 performer. I don't want to over talk it. I just think the 2 names above him are 2 names that are so synonymous with the convo right now, and you'll understand. But Suge, a definition of explosion. He's going to go down as one of the best performers of all time, and I think still in 2025, he is one of the best active performers in battle rap. So here we are at the top 2, and at the number 2 spot, funny enough, I believe this battler is the best performer of all time. However, in current day climate, while I think he's still high up in the conversation, some may still have him at number 1. I think he's fairly put at this number 2 spot, and that is Hitman Holla. Like I said, best performer of all time. I could go on and on about why. Hitman is going to be so respected as a performer. He's the pioneer of it in a lot of ways. He's the original super moment maker from battle to battle. He was winning battles strictly off performance for years and years. And I think now at this point, he's actually so synonymous with performance that he doesn't get credit for the other things he does good as a pure rapper and a super underrated angler, nearly an all-time angler. Probably his second most dangerous weapon behind the performance. Never been like super bar savvy, but people act like he has nothing bar for bar. It's not true. He has plenty of good bar for bar-esque performances. I think Bill Collector is the best example for me. But I have nothing but respect for Hitman here. And I did say for the Punchers video and for many of these videos, I'm trying not to put battlers, right, that are just off of legacy, like Lux on a Pens list when he battles once every 2 or 3 years, right? Or someone's gonna say like Mook's the best angler, you know what I'm saying? But Mook isn't battling all that often. Maybe we'll see when we get to that conversation, right? But with Hitman, he's battling more and more often, right? He had 2 battles between Easy the Block Captain and Hitman Holla. Between Easy the Block Captain and Ill Will. Performance-wise, he did get beat by Easy. Big reason I had Easy as a top 5 performer last year on this list. But I still think he was good in that battle. I know Easy won clear, probably the most dominant loss Hitman's took. But even his first round, it's a great example of what he does on a big stage. Versus Ill Will, smaller room, but I think he's performative in there. Angling, once again, underrated, but it won battle of the year, right? But then he has the Geechee Gotti battle last year. Long-time grudge match and mega match. Big stage, and you see him once again as a huge underdog. He's always a huge underdog, it feels like, which is funny considering the legacy he's put up. But look at what he did in that battle. You know what I'm saying? I had him winning 2-1. He was incredible. Used the full skill set there. Just prime big stage Hitman Holla, and he's talking, he's going to battle Miss Hustle. We talked about it from Miss Hustle's side. He's also going to be fielding that legacy match for her coming up as a big stage battle, and he's talking about being more active. So there's a high chance he has 3, maybe even 4 battles this year. And if that does happen, that's the type of activity we want. This feels like the most active I've seen Hitman in years' times, like day to day with the culture. Big part of that is being a league owner, but battle-wise, he's at the forefront more than ever, where he's not just battling once every few years. So I feel comfortable. And once he does that, it's not just him battling once every 3 years. And that's kind of why he didn't make the list last year, because that was his first time. It feels like the back-to-back active battles in quite some time. Plus, he went, 1-1 with the loss being on a big stage. But no question why Hitman's going to be, even the people that hate Hitman have to put him, in these conversations with a performer at the very least. So I think he's very fairly put the number 2 spot. He would be number 1 if we didn't have a repeat battler here at the number 1 spot, and that is New Jersey Twork. Definition of a performer right now. He was like that last year, and even with a little bit of inconsistencies to start his 2024, obviously the T-Top battle, the Clone battle, and the Wise battle to a lesser extent, where he's not showing up with the rounds, he's stumbling, right? But then he gives you things like Pass, which I had performance of the weekend on Mass 6. Then he gives you battles like Big K, which is just like probably the reason 100% that he's locked in here once again. He just does too much in that category, man. He's just a walking nuke, to be honest with you. And I feel comfortable once again putting him as the best performer in battle rap in 2025. But I could even pivot more so, because I think most people would agree. There's debate that Twork is pound for pound the best battle rapper in the world. He's made the top 5 punchers list here, and now here he is number 1 in the top 5 performers list. But the battle between him and Hitman Holla is going to be so key to this conversation, to all-time conversations, to 2 different eras of performers going against each other, because I think there's a fair argument that people say there's no one more electric than Twork all time. You know what I'm saying? But Hitman created this, and at his peak, he really is just as electric. Maybe he doesn't have the same kind of puncher and writing emphasis to it, so Twork has that, but it feels like he can drop a creative haymaker with it every single bar, while with Hitman, it's going to be straight out of like, little brother hold me up, you know what I'm saying, something of that nature, but reload with the bullets that came out of it. It's not really the wordplay, it's the moment making, but it's going to be such an incredible battle, because I do think they are going to lock in this year, and it's going to be the war of a Hitman who's more on the angler side with a Twork who's more on the writer side, but they both get to match each other with like that pure energy and like shaking a big building. Such a hard battle to predict too. I won't do it obviously until I see it come out. If you were to ask me for like a mailbag or something, I'd give the answer, but it's so hard to call. It's going to be another battle where Hitman's the underdog, but how does that keep working out for him? You know what I'm saying? So It just, that's a matchup that's going to determine so much, and it's why there might be people that put Hitman at 1 right now and Twerk at 2. I wouldn't be mad at that either. I'd say most people, just because of what Twerk has been doing recently, from the Mook battle to the Big K battle, etc. I mean, he's coming off debatably performance of the year. You know what I'm saying? 2 years in a row, both on a big stage. So have to put him at number 1, but this is all just leading to the fact that Hitman and Twerk, while the rest of these, Suge, Rock, Hustle, even Sheed and T-Top, right? These are all great performers in their own right. Maybe until Surf comes out, I think he'd be in this convo as well, but Hitman and Twerk are kind of like in their own tier amongst the top 5 as well. Like, there's nothing else that you could say about them. And when they do lock in, maybe the result of that battle could either like further cement the fact that I've been having Twerk as the best performer on the planet for the past couple years, or Hitman goes back to his rightful spot where he's already number 1 all time and maybe proves, over a decade after the fact of kind of being the trendsetter in this category, that he's still number 1. But as of what I've seen recently, gotta go with Twerk as the best performer in the game once again. And that is my full top 5 performers list. A little easier for me to put this one together because we've been having the conversation so much recently, and I feel like, not that I didn't feel concrete about it before, because you could debate Hitman and Twerk same way you could debate like Av and Nitty, for punchers. But I thought with the punchers there was more variance where I was like rearranging names, while with here, Easy dropped off the list because just an overall kind of dip in quality. Still one of the probably 10 best battle rappers in the world, but obviously he hasn't had the dominance that he had kind of going into the Hitman battle afterwards, and the things he was doing particularly hasn't been on the big stage all that often recently. So you end up you end up getting Hitman more active too. So Hitman kind of in a sense didn't directly take Easy's spot, but kind of did. You know what I'm saying? He's the new name for the list, even though it was just a matter of him being active because we know what he does in the performance category. But when it comes to Suge, Rock, and Hustle, I think they're all very respectable names there. The New Jersey Twerk holding that number 1 spot. These are people that I can't miss the list. I can't not have Rock. I can't not have Suge. Like, I don't feel like there's a spot. Maybe you guys could debate it. Like I said, I'm not counting Surf because he hasn't battled as of recently, but there's no name I would put over any of these people in the 5. Maybe you could rearrange the spots because it is preference when we get this close, but I also think I'm very confident with Twerk and Hitman at number 1 and number 2, no matter how you slice it. But now, of course, I want to hear your guys' opinions. Do you agree? Do you think this is the objective top 5 performers list? Is there anyone that you would sub into the conversation? And even more so in the honorable mentions where I had Sheed and T-Top, is there anyone that you think maybe could be in place of them? I like my picks there, but I'm sure that, everybody has different opinions here and there. So I would love to hear if you guys think there's anyone that's a better sub in anywhere here on the list. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to go back and forth about it, man. But it's been J Smo Reviews again here, y'all. Look out for No Cut, which is going to start here in like 10, 20 minutes. I'm going to be editing it. I can't even speak. I'm going to be editing this probably as that event starts and live tweeting it. And then Cody Tuesday, you know what I'm saying, man? So we'll be talking about quite a few things coming up soon. But it's been J Smo Reviews again here, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.